Mass deportations, it calls for that. Do you support that part?
If they have not paid taxes and if their draw on the taxpayer benefits are larger than the contribution they are making to the economy, or if they're involved in criminal activity, they should be deported.
How do we measure that?
The same way that the IRS measures my income every year. It seems like if the IRS can track down every aspect of every receipt that I've ever submitted, and
so
they can do so for hundreds of millions of other Americans, they can do that for illegal immigrants as well, except for the fact that no one knows how many are in the country thanks to this administration.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are meeting me for the first time, my name is Clevy and it is so nice to meet you. We are back with another video, and this time, this is Ben Shapiro destroys woke congressman when he tries to, what's the complaint? When he tries to frame him against Ben Shapiro. Was he informed? Does he know what is getting himself into? Let's check this out, because you're gonna be roasted. Bet. Trust me, if I were to pick a word fight, I wouldn't want to go with bed. Douglas Candice get me out. Well, okay, let's check this out. I'll just quickly pause that to read. It said, I think homosexual activity is a sin. I'm sure there's a genetic component to homosexual orientation, but the view of all religious people I know has always been that sexual behavior is something that is up to you. For example, I may have a desire to sleep with many women, but I do not. Okay, so Ben Shapiro says, so they're bringing his word against him. Is that what is happening?
And you said, I may have a desire to sleep with many women, but I do not.
I agree with me. Yes, that's true.
I agree with me.
Congratulations on your, yeah.
All right, y'all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you're tuning in. I'm grateful to have you here. And boy, do we got a doozy today, because based Ben Shapiro has finally returned to taking W's. Congressman Eric Swalwell of California found that out real quick in round one, Mike Tyson style, when he brought a toothpick to a sword fight. For whatever reason, this wokety-woke lefty foolishly thought it would be a good idea to test his IQ against Shapiro's and try to get some gotcha moments. Instead, he turns this meeting into a circus of random questions about beliefs and proceeds to run full speed into a verbal meat grinder. This compromised traitor, who was previously seduced by a Chinese spy, gets toasted by Ben, and then Chairman McClintock blows away the ashes at the very end. Let's get it poppin'.
Let's go.
Mr. Shapiro, thank you for joining us today. I think it is important that you're here as one of the leading conservative voices in the country. And the country has, in the last couple of weeks, talked a lot about and Googled Project 2025. It's one of the most Googled search terms right now. And you're not going to get any censorship from me. So I just wanted to know, from your perspective, I think it would help us understand, on just like a scale of 0 to 100%, how much do you support Project 2025?
I think, like President Trump, I haven't looked all that deeply at Project 2025, but it seems that Democrats on this committee, sort of like Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, if they say Project 2025 enough, their presidential candidate becomes alive again.
And so, well, let's just talk about pieces of it, and I guess you can tell me if you support it. You probably want less bureaucracy, right?
I do.
I want less bureaucracy. You want more efficiency?
I do.
I want more efficiency.
Oh, he said less.
You want taxpayer money spent wisely?
I do. Congrats on becoming a Republican.
My parents would be proud. Mass deportations, it calls for that. Do you support that part?
I support the deportation of any illegal immigrant who's in the United States who is not of benefit to the generalized American public.
So if they're picking agriculture that puts food on the tables of everyday Americans, they've never committed a crime inside the United States, they didn't come across with documents, should they be deported?
If they have not paid taxes and if their draw on the taxpayer benefits are larger than the contribution they are making to the economy, or if they're involved in criminal activity, they should be deported.
How do we measure that?
The same way that the IRS measures my income every year. It seems like if the IRS can track down every aspect of every receipt that I've ever submitted, and they can do so for hundreds of millions of other Americans, they can do that for illegal immigrants as well, except for the fact that no one knows how many are in the country thanks to this administration.
So you would be cool with creating a system where they could pay those taxes if they wanted to, and then stay and work and put food on our table?
It depends on how long it would take for them to pay the taxes, and they would also have to go presumably to the back of the line, although I'm not sure why I'm testifying about immigration policy at this point.
How about banning the abortion pill? That's part of Project 2025. Do you support that part?
I think that that's a state-by-state issue on a personal level.
I'm just asking you.
Sure, I'm a fully pro-life person, which means that I'm not in favor of the distribution of the abortion pill.
Banning same-sex marriage, what about that part?
I am in favor of traditional marriage between a man and a woman, and I'm perfectly fine with anyone having any sort of voluntary sexual arrangement they seek. That's a different thing from whether the government should attach benefits to that personal relationship.
But you think it's a sin to have same-sex marriage?
I mean, I'm confused. Are you asking me as a religious Jew what I think about biblically?
I'm just asking, is it a sin to be gay?
Is it a sin to be gay? I mean, how long do we have here? 2 minutes? I mean, if the basic idea is that sexual orientation is up for government regulation, I'm not in favor of the government regulating the private consenting sexual activity of adults. That is a different thing, once again, from whether the government ought to engage in actual benefits for particular sexual arrangements that adults make.
But again, just you to me, is it a sin or not?
From a religious Jewish perspective, orientation is not a sin, but activity is. That's also the same perspective of most major religions, so far as I'm aware.
And how about cutting Social Security? Do you support that part of 2025?
I'm not sure what Project 2025's position on Social Security is. I'm in favor of the restructuring of Social Security along the lines of privatization and lowering and increasing the retirement age, because you, as well as every other congressperson, knows Social Security is going to go bankrupt, and yet everyone seems to have an interest in lying about it for the next decade and a half until we have to take austerity measures or radically increase inflation or taxes.
And bans against books about slavery. Do you support that part about?
Why would I possibly be in favor of bans about books about slavery? That would be absolutely ridiculous. What I am in favor of is the idea that school libraries should be able to make decisions along the lines of what exactly is appropriate for, say, a 7th grader and whether they ought to be treated to cartoons and genderqueer. That's not quite the same thing.
Thank you.
And just because we found some receipts, you did say, I think homosexual activity is a sin.
He said we found some receipts.
There's a genetic component.
You found me out.
But the view of all religious people I know has always been that sexual behavior is something that is up to you. And you said, I may have a desire to sleep with many women, but I do not.
I agree with me.
Yes. That's
Congratulations on your, I'm sure it's very hard to restrain yourself. Mr. Chairman, I just want to shift to Alvin Bragg. He was supposed to be here this week, and he's not coming. And Hunter Biden was supposed to testify. Now he's not testifying. We were supposed to have votes on articles of impeachment, and we didn't. And again, we're just wondering, you guys write great press releases, but the payoff seems to never come. And so I guess we will keep waiting, and we'll do hearings like this. And finally, Chairman, you cannot yell fire in a crowded theater, and that's a restriction on speech, as you have recognized before. But you can yell theater in a crowded fire, and you all can continue to do that all you want, and we'll just waste the American people's time.
Gentleman's time has expired, and I remind him of the first rule of holes. When you're in one, stop digging.
No, I won't stop.
Did you hear that?
I won't stop.
When you want,
that was brutal for Eric Swalwell. I'm talking about next level embarrassment that he brought upon himself with that incompetent performance. Completely
Hold on, did you hear that? The first rules of holes. When you're in one. He said what? Stop digging.
Line of questioning that accomplished absolutely nothing. Talking about theater in a crowded fire. What are you smoking, dude? We the people got to stop allowing these kinds of politicians to get into office. Hopefully he does what Joe Biden should and steps down from his position, never to return. But I'd love to hear what y'all think about all this. Drop a comment below.
Yo, you guys, first of all, you want to start the word match with, for one yes or no answer, Ben is giving you 2 paragraphs. for something someone else to say yes or no, Ben will give you 2 paragraphs. Because, well, it will not even give you the opportunity to try to twist his words or say you don't understand. That's one thing I noticed about Ben. He will clear you. That's all. Period. Yo. Yeah, just trying to put words in his mouth. Like just between me and you, is homosexuality a sin? Talks about abortion, Project 2025, the ban of abortion pills. And each of these we've really talked on like we've had like dedicated videos talking about all of these issues. And you guys should just, if this is the first time on the channel, don't worry, you have a small time. Locate the playlist, or you just scroll down and you're definitely going to see, you know, a lot more, because we did talk in details about it. What do you guys think? Ben burnt him, and the chairman took it and blew the ashes away. Killed him. Killed him. Oh my god. A lot is happening, oh. 2024, a lot is happening. Yesterday, I was, since we're talking about Project 2025, let's talk about the election. Yesterday, or day before yesterday, rather, I was talking with a friend and we were just analyzing the whole, you know, President Trump's, you know, assassination attempt that failed. And is here, like it literally passed this year, right? And we were just thinking, what if he slightly even turned his head? Because this was just the hairs that, you know, here that was injured. We're talking about what if he slightly turned his head, and that is bullet to the brain proper. That is so. I hope they're getting to the root of this. I hope so. I hope they're getting to the root of this. Because what? That is wild. You know, we're just like, she was like, what if he had turned his head? Yeah. See, this coming election is already saying a lot. It's already saying a whole lot. You'll be careful out there. Be careful out there, please. Because your life is important. But you guys, what do you guys think about this? Of course, we have a whole playlist dedicated to Ben Shapiro on the channel. Do well to check it out. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Bye.